Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, dropped out of university. But he dropped out of Harvard. I think that's one thing people don't tell you. He dropped out of Harvard. Do you know what that means? It means he got into Harvard. I want us to have a frank conversation about self-education. Yes, we have all heard about people who have made big gains and who have achieved a lot of things without formal education or without higher education. But I think it's important to also focus on the things that we need to focus and not misplace them. So for example, we've heard of people like Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, and Elon Musk, who have done great. But these people, if you're going to be quite honest, had some kind of formal education. But in this video, I also want us to talk about informal education or self-education, which is also something that all of these people did at some point in their lives. So hi, I'm Z, and if you're new here on this channel, I talk a lot about education and self-improvement, so you're welcome. Now I'm going to be sharing with you why self-education is important, and most importantly, how you can use self-education to your benefit. So just stay with me, because I'll also be citing examples with you on how you can do this in your life and how it's also helped other people, and share one or two stats with you to let you know that this is real. So a little disclaimer, I am not speaking against education. I am big on formal education, but I want us to remember that self-education is a huge part of being successful and getting to your destination. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why self-education is important, but most importantly, how you can use it to your advantage in order to reach your goals and achieve new things and become that person. Yeah, so we're going to be like, we're all about self-empowerment on this platform. We're all about education and self-improvement on this channel. Let's start with this. You may be thinking about traditional education, and I am, like I said, education is really important. Like the late Nelson Mandela said, education is the single most important thing that you can give someone access to. I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing, but he underscores the importance of education, and it's huge, right? That is definitely good. And I think that education is very good, especially or at least if you have basic education, you have the fundamentals, you can read, you can write, you can communicate. It's really important. But let's talk about some limitations of traditional education. So one of the reasons why some people may not get the chance to go to education or get to higher education is obviously the cost. Some people just do not have the money for it, or they have money for basic education and do not have money for higher education, because some countries also have free basic education. They may not have money for higher education. The second thing, which is a huge problem with traditional education system, is that people tend to, or a lot of the curriculum, or people have a one size, or a lot of education institutions or educational institutions or education systems have a one-size-fits-all approach to education. So it's not very tailored to people, individuals, their interests, their strengths, which is why you have people in a classroom and then one person is always the best person in the class and one person is always at the bottom. It's just not tailored, so it doesn't really serve every student's needs. One of the other things that I find that it's a huge disadvantage when it comes to traditional education is that it's not very flexible sometimes. And the other thing is that some countries have more advanced education resources basically than other countries. So there are some limitations to traditional education, right? Which you probably also know. But why is self-education important? And let's even start with what self-education is. Self-education, in the most simple terms, is what exactly the word says: self and education. So you as an individual learning something, educating yourself, taking up the responsibility of teaching yourself something and learning. And this is one thing that a lot of us tend to underestimate: the power of self-education. So I would want you to think about it and think about how that can have a huge impact on your life, because if you are, especially in this age, there's a likelihood that you're not going to learn everything from the classroom, and you're going to have to self-educate. So the first part of this video, or let's just say the second part, because I basically have spoken a lot already. The second part of this video is to share with you some benefits of self-education, and then finally I'll tell you how you can self-educate and what and how you can go about it. So in terms of benefits of self-education, it's obvious, like I mentioned, flexibility. You can do it at your own pace, you can do it at your own time. There is no pressure. The second thing is that you can tailor it to your interests, right? So if you're in school and then you're learning something, maybe you are an economics major and you learn in economics, you may personally be interested in how technologies interact in a way that improves the economy, and that probably is not in your curriculum. So as an individual, you would want to teach yourself that, so you're able to learn that on your own. So that is another very good advantage of self-education. You have the flexibility, and you also can tailor whatever you learn into your own individual interests. The next thing is that it is not expensive. Self-education is not expensive. There's a lot of information out here. There are lots of resources out here, and if you're thinking about maybe buying a course on let's say Coursera, or just any other platform that you might be able to get a course from, or Skillshare, if you're buying a course on one of those platforms, it's not as it's not as expensive as paying about £25,000 or dollars for a master's degree. The other thing about self-education, which I personally feel very passionate about, is that it empowers you to be proactive and confident. So imagine knowing things about a certain subject. The way you speak to it, you come up with a certain kind of flair, a certain kind of confidence, a certain kind of, yes, I'm quite certain in my knowledge of that, right? You're not bragging, but you're confident about having that conversation. And I think this is like one of the most useful benefits of self-education. So all of these things are some of the benefits of self-education. Now let's talk about how you can self-educate, right? So I did mention earlier, I mentioned Elon Musk, I mentioned Oprah Winfrey, I mentioned Malcolm X. Maybe I didn't mention Malcolm X, but Malcolm X. I also did mention Mark Zuckerberg. And yeah, so some of these people, and I'm mentioning these people because they are famous people, and we can all not relate, but we all know them, right? Because there are tons of other people who have self-educated and done things that we probably do not know about. So all of these people are people who were self-taught in a number of things. So let's talk about Elon Musk, for instance. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science, right? So he did not study, he studied physics and I think economics, but he did not study like rocket science formally, and he taught himself, and now look at how far he's gone with SpaceX. And when you also look at people like I said, Zuckerberg, he self-taught himself a lot of the things, and which is why he now owns Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Oprah Winfrey, one of my favorite people. Oprah, even through the Oprah show, learned so much listening to the experiences of other people, and all of these people are self-taught, and she reads a lot. They tell you the importance of reading. So I'm just gonna stop here, right? Because I just wanted you to find some relatable examples when it comes to being self-taught. So I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to talk to you about why it's like how you can do it yourself. So let's just take a look at some of the ways in which you can self-educate. First of all, you must be willing to learn. You must be willing to learn. So it's a mental thing. Are you willing to learn something new? Have you decided that you want to self-educate? We spend so much time scrolling on social media. You can use that time to learn something new. So have you decided that you want to self-educate? That is the first step. Be willing to learn, right? The next thing is to set goals. So in terms of goal setting, what are your self-education goals? Do you want to learn a new skill? Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to be able to build a new product on your own? Do you want to learn to code? Do you want to learn to build websites? Do you want to learn to sew? What are your self-education goals? So you have to set clear goals, right? Because it's one thing seeing things and feel like, oh, I didn't know that, right? And it's good to learn, but it's another thing being very intentional about it and knowing exactly what you want to learn. So define your goals. The next thing is to identify where to find the resources. So if it's, are you going to use an online platform like LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, Udemy, Skillshare? There are lots of them that you can use to learn. So if you think about it, you'll be like, okay, I want to learn how to do this. Which platform is the best platform for me to learn that? And once you have decided, you can think about it. Another very important part of learning that you probably haven't thought about in terms of platforms is YouTube. So there's a lot of content here. People have learned to code, people have learned to do stuff on YouTube only, right? And which is why it's important that these educational platforms are here to support all of us, and which is why I also am very keen to share with you education and self-improvement content. So if you're still here, this is your cue to please help a lot more people see this video by liking the video, because when you do, YouTube will suggest it to a lot of people. And if you haven't joined the family yet, make sure you subscribe. The next thing is to create a learning schedule, right? This is important, but I must say that I think when you're thinking about learning online, you don't want to make it very rigid in a way that makes you not want to learn. So think about making your schedule a bit flexible, a bit fun, in a way that suits you and in a way that works for you, that would not make you feel like you are forced to do it. I think that's one of the reasons why we end up not doing things. If we do not see fun in it, if we are not excited about it, it might be a bit challenging. So create a schedule, but create it at a time that you are most motivated, or you would really be interested in. Make the schedule a bit flexible. Personal example, I wake up, at this point in time, maybe I don't know when you're watching this video, and if this will change, but at this point in time, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm recording this video around 8 a.m. So I'm recording this video even before I start work at 9. So that is the schedule I have put together for myself. So think about the schedule, think about what works for you, think about the flexibility. Do you have to wake up a bit earlier? Maybe you might want to wake up at 5:30 or 6 or 7. I don't know what your schedule is. Or you might want to work late at night or in the evening. So just think about it, come up with a schedule and make it work for you. Join online communities. Online communities can be great, can be a great learning experience for you. So whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's I don't know, it could be a room in Clubhouse. I'm not sure about these days, but Clubhouse used to be a very good learning platform, especially during COVID, when the platform became very popular. Lots of people were using it to have conversations. If it's a Twitter room, I'm not sure yet how it's called. I think it's Twitter room, Twitter something, that platform where people chat on Twitter, or they have audio chats on Twitter. For a second forgotten what it's called. You can, if they have very useful ones, you can join those platforms. YouTube communities, just very useful. WhatsApp group, join an online community, and that would also inspire you, especially if it's a community of people who are interested in the same things or similar things. Then you would be able to do stuff alongside them, which would be great. The next thing is to read widely. I personally have committed to reading 1 book a month, fingers crossed, and this is after I haven't read so much in a while, and now I have decided I'm going to read at least one book a month, especially starting from now. I think that it's just really important. It's a great way to learn, right? So even if your goal is not to read a book a month, you can set a goal to read a book at least in 2 months, or if you can, a book a week, whatever it is that you can do, but read widely. And I think it's very important, even if it's daily, you want to read something on the news, or you want to read something on a certain platform, just read something that would, you know, broaden or widen your horizon in a way that helps you to learn more about new stuff. As someone who has attended a lot of workshops, webinars, conferences, seminars, summits, I can really tell you that these platforms are an essential part for growth. If you're someone who wants to improve your people skills, you want to work on your confidence, you want to be inspired, you want to hear from other people's ideas and experiences, this is important, and I would encourage you to do so. And the key part of that, or the key benefits to that also, is that it helps to build your confidence, right? And it helps to build your confidence, and it helps you build some kind of networks, because I have spoken also on the relevance of networking in previous videos. It's important for you to put yourself out there, even if you do not have time to go in person. Join the online ones. Some organizations also have free webinars and free events. Some universities have free events where they invite people to come and speak about various topics, subjects, and they have all of these big key speakers coming in. You don't need to be a university student, you can register to attend. So just find opportunities to learn. Finally, and most importantly, do not forget to apply your knowledge. All of the things that you're learning are for you to be able to apply, be it be useful in a conversation, be it creating a product, be it improving your service, be it just being able to change certain things. I think just learn to apply your knowledge. Finally, reflect and assess. So think about the things that you're doing, what is working, what is not working, and what information do I really need? Do I really need that one? Oh, maybe I'd have to learn this other thing. So reflect and assess, and always improve. Before I leave, I think it's important to share with you some technological tools that you could use to learn. First, educational apps. There are lots of useful educational apps that you can download to learn. So from Duolingo, which is a very popular language learning platform, to maybe an app like Khan Academy. So all of these are platforms that you can use to learn something. You can also use tools like podcasts and audiobooks, and like I said, YouTube. So podcasts and audiobooks, for instance, you can listen to them on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, all of these platforms. And the good thing about these things, or these audiobooks and podcasts, is that you can do it while you're doing something else. So when you're working, or you're reading, not reading, when you're working out, or you're cooking, or you're doing something, taking a walk, you can listen to them. I hope this has been useful. It's been a pleasure. If you watched till the end of this video, I really appreciate you, and I hope that you check out my self-improvement playlist, where I have shared a lot of useful information on self-improvement. And please subscribe and like the video and share it, and leave your comment in the comment section. If this has been useful to you, I'd like to know. Please let me know by typing yes, or let me know, just let me know if this has been useful, so I bring a lot more videos like this. I wish you the best. Lots of love.